Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Spirit of Justice. Albie has finally spoken what actually happened now, and, well, let's just say it's just another day with Phoenix Wright. Shadow, what do I do, Shadow?
And what better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hand? In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed that the treasure had been stolen. And then, just after that, he ran into the accused. I'll be your guide.
No, that's not what happened.
Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused.
Puppy! Oh no! What now? Oh my god, it's so cute. Hey, Shadow, down boy. Well, what do we have here? I'm sorry about this. This is my dog, Shadow. You nearly gave me a heart attack. So that's what was making his bag move.
Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down?
Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake. Wait, what? Albie can understand. I'm suddenly realizing why people like to call him the Ace Attorney version of Luke. You can understand him?
Don't tell me this is a surprise. Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
Oh, I beg your pardon? You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you? Of course not, Your Majesty. Not this time, anyway. Why not? Let's add dogs to the list. Whew, well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought I have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there. Boy, you should see his other cases. I think I'd better reassess my strategy, and fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim, or we're sunk. While it's true the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have struck the victim at the time. If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready.
Exactly. I mean, who but the accused, standing front and center, could have done it? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture.
Okay, come on, Phoenix. I know I can think of something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from? Gee, I don't know, from behind? With the defendant standing in front of the victim, isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind? From behind, you say? I see. Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility. Good, now at least I have some breathing room. But who do you suppose it could have been? Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder. The true culprit? I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that. I should have known I'd have to explain everything. Alright, if we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means... After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape. But then Mr. Roll appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway.
You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it, you have nothing but baseless conjecture.
I'm going to look for something to base it on right now. Albie, when you ran into Mr. Roll in the hallway, was there anyone around the storeroom area? I don't know. There might have been somebody there, but I couldn't see. I was only halfway down the stairs, so I couldn't see the ends of that hallway. I see. Swing and a miss. Well, we tried. Oh! Shadow says that someone was there! I see. Thank you for that. Too bad his testimony is inadmissible. You think this is a joke. Maybe the defendant didn't happen to see this other person. But that doesn't mean the true culprit couldn't have been there in the hallway.
Your desperate floundering is getting hard to watch. But I will enjoy watching you sink.
What are you talking about?
Unfortunately for you, only the accused and the victim were there in that hallway at the time of the incident.
How can you continue to make that assertion?
Because there was a witness. A very reliable eyewitness.
Oh, really? What?
Of course there is. Your Majesty, the prosecution would like to call its witness to the stand.
Calling an eyewitness to the stand, It's been decades since that's happened.
And unlike the defense's witness, you can rest assured that there are no pets involved.
That was a low blow. Yeah, what did Shadow ever do? Very well, I allow it. And now, for something we've not heard in quite some time. Bring the witness to the stand. Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, this guy. Jesus, man.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Peace, love, and understanding's the name. I'm like Temple's head monk, can you dig?
Oh, if it isn't Instructor Understanding, you're the eyewitness? Instructor?
Not only is Mr. Understanding Temple's head monk, but he's also a renowned Dalmalin expert.
Oh my god, these words are gonna kill me. Sorry to have to ask, but what's a Dalmalin?
Check it. Here she is, my sweet serenader, my one and only. Groovy, right? But you heard our sultry sounds once before, brother. Ikareru araso edo.
That's the song from the Dance of Devotion.
Right on, brother. The Song of Ceremony. Playing this tune together is a precious gig for me and my girl here. You dig?
The Song of Ceremony. The song that was playing at the time of the murder.
O Holy Mother, may the righteous sounds of my Damalin serve as my offering to you.
Wonderful! A great performance, as always.
This is my thing, you know, my bag. I make instruments speak, baby. By the by, Magistry Pops. No Damalin class today?
No, I'm afraid this trial has gone into overtime, thanks to the lawyer over there. The class the judge wanted to attend was a Damalin lesson?
Well, you know what they say, baby. Never trust the lawyer man. But transgressors against the Holy Mother have to be brought to justice.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Understanding. As the treasure's keeper, you must have been shocked to learn it had been stolen.
Yeah, man, that was not cool.
Keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, Mr. Understandin'.
That's right, brother. This here's the one and only treasure box key. And I keep it on me at all times. Can you dig? But the sneaky thief went and cracked open that sucker anyway. Total bummer, man.
So that's the key to the treasure box, is it?
You know it, baby. It's called the Magatama key, and it's a historical artifact to boot. It's been passed down from head monk to head monk at Temple.
The Magatama key, huh? Alright.
And now someone's jacked the treasure on my watch. It's a real buzzkill, man. How am I ever gonna face Her Holiness again? Oh, Holy Mother, please find it in your infinite mercy to forgive me. Please guide this lost and humble lamb.
Why do I always get the far out ones?
Mr. Understandin', you witnessed the accused and the victim heading to the treasure room.
You know it, baby. Best believe I scoped that tiny transgressor.
Would you please give the court your testimony regarding what you saw?
To bring justice against the transgressor, man? Yes, of course, I'll do all I can. In the name of Her Holiness, I vow to sing, naught but the truth I swear to bring. Hit me!
What I saw, baby.
After the morning dance of devotion, to go back to my chamber I got the notion. Don't you know my chamber's on the way to the temple's treasure room, hey hey. Any small footsteps? I can quite clearly hear if anyone to the treasure room goes near. Albie was the only one. Albie was the only one. Before the blackout, one other than roll. Only Albie to the treasure room did stroll.
I just want to listen to that the whole time. Tell me I was hallucinating just now.
Like, can you believe Mr. Roll bit the big one after that? Harsh, man.
I share your sentiments. You were the one who discovered the victim's body, were you, Mr. Understandin'?
What? You found the body as well? He really is a key witness then. I'm sorry, is it understanding or is it an understanding?
That's right, brother. After the blackout, I went to reset the breaker and give power back to the people. The circuit box is near my chamber, so I'm always the man for the job, you feel me?
Good to know.
The breakers are in the first floor hallway, in front of the storeroom.
On the way, I got a whiff of something funky. Blood, man. Really harshed my mellow. I knew something wasn't kosher, so I swung by the treasure room to see what's what. And it was like, whoa, man, there was poor Mr. Roll, dead as a doornail.
Well, that's really unfortunate.
In the interval between the end of the dance of devotion and the blackout. The only ones who went to the scene of the crime were the victim and the accused. So you see, Mr. Understanding's unassailable account is what led the accused arrest.
Hold it! Isn't it possible that the murder took place before the end of the event, the Dance of Devotion?
I'm afraid that's not possible. The victim was in the performance hall until the very end of the dance.
He was?
Would you like some proof? How's this? A photo taken by a tourist of the morning dance of devotion.
My, what graceful dancing! I can almost hear the sound of Mr. Understanding's Demalin now. Kane's right. There's Mr. Roll on duty. He looks so happy.
Never underestimate the incredible pain.
Ugh. So in addition to Rafa's insights, he had backup evidence lined up too, huh? It's too perfect, though.
As head monk, my monks in training are like my own kids, like family. Can you dig it? I should have taught I'll be a better man. Before Her Holiness the Holy Mother, oh, I'll be confessed your sins, my young brother.
Head monk Understanding, I didn't kill Mr. Roll, so I don't have anything to confess to the Holy Mother.
What? Bogus, little man. Your faith is weak, like a wet paper bag. Are you feeling me? Spare the rod, hey baby. Spoil the child, not maybe.
I love this guy's testimonies.
Her Holiness is magnanimous, son, if you confess your guilt. She'll forgive you in the Twilight Realm.
I don't suppose she could forgive him in this realm first? Defense, please begin your cross-examination. This magical cross-examination. Holy crap. Alright, let's do this somehow. What I saw. Let's press everything except one of the statements. If I can press, anyway. I have a question.
Lay it on me, man.
How dare you interrupt the performance of the great Peace, Love, and Understanding? I was really enjoying that. Sorry, but, you know, there's something about that name I can't put my finger on. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding?
You had a question for me, brother?
You were playing something during the Dance of Devotion, weren't you?
You know it, baby. I was playing my beautiful girl right here, this Demalin. In offering to Her Holiness, I play the music and the singers sing the song of ceremony.
Mr. Understanding's playing is the best in the kingdom. It must please Her Holiness greatly. Now then, could you continue with your testimony, Mr. Understanding?
For the Holy Mother, I keep on truckin'. This Demalin still needs some pluckin'.
Could you please point out one more time where your chamber is located?
Yeah, man, no sweat. My chamber is on the way from the performance hall to the treasure room.
So anyone going to the treasure room would have to pass by Understanding's chamber.
Give peace, love, a chance.
Even from inside your chamber, you can still hear what's going on outside.
Temple is a groovy old building built from Mother Nature's finest. You can hear a pin drop through the wooden walls, you dig?
In an old building like that, I guess the walls must be pretty thin.
And that's how Mr. Understanding could know the culprit's movements. It's all thanks to the Holy Mother's divine protection.
Right on, my man. I dedicate this testimony to Her Holiness.
We're skipping over this statement for now. Like, let me press! How can you be so sure that nobody else was there?
Whoa, man, you lawyers are as uptight as they say.
Isn't it possible that someone else could have snuck past?
The answer, my friend, is squeaky wooden floorboards, baby. They make such a racket, not even the quietest cat could sneak by me, you dig?
Yes, that makes sense. And all of that just now was simply more of the attorney's unfounded suspicion. I see.
That's the truth, baby, it's all that I sing. The truth is all, it's everything.
Words of wisdom, words of truth. Baby 2-4 souphone booth.
What?
Much thanks to Mr. Understanding. Let's bring an end to the defense grandstanding.
You're not stopping me until my client goes free. Wait a minute. Why am I singing? Man, this is too good.
Right on. Even the lawyer is joining in, baby. Everybody's starting to feel the groovy vibe of my far-out rhythm.
I refuse to let him run this show. I didn't notice any inconsistencies in his testimony. It's like I'm going to have to press his statement to draw out more information. We're going to do that with the fourth statement. How could you tell it was Albie just from the sound of some footsteps?
Albie is practically family, man. The smooth groove of his shoes are easy to pick out.
But how do you know he went to the treasure room? Didn't you think it was possible he went to the storeroom at the other end of the hall?
No way, man. I saw him with my own two eyes.
You saw him?
In the treasure room. This you can believe, my peepers peeped the sneaky sneak Albie.
And tell us where is you stood when you saw the accused, if you would.
When I heard the footsteps, I looked out the window. From my window, I can see.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's just can't be possible.
The window of the first floor hallway across the courtyard, you dig? And through that window, I saw Albie walking into the treasure room.
Should I have him add this statement to his testimony? Yes! Because that cannot be possible. Could you please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Understanding?
You got it, brother. Through the window I did spy little Albie with my own eye.
Through the window, you say?
That's right, brother. There's a courtyard outside the window of my chamber. Across the courtyard, I can see the window of the hallway to the treasure room, man.
Judging from the diagram, I guess that's plausible. A view of the courtyard from your chamber. How nice that must be. I bet it's beautiful at this time of year. What with Khurain's butterflies flitting about.
You know it, Pops. I often look out into the courtyard while playing my Demalin. And it goes a little something like this.
Alright, so, we're going to be presenting something here, because if we looked at the notice, the shutters were all closed because of some incidents of thievery, so there's no way he could have seen it. There's something off about that, Mr. Understanding.
My music is off? I'm sorry you feel that way, man. Maybe this vibe ain't topping the charts where you're from. What's your poison? Orchestra? Jazz? Soul?
There's nothing wrong with my ears, witness, but something's not quite right with your eyes. Mr. Understanding, you've been lying to this court.
Now would why I lie? I got nothing to hide. Truth and truth alone is all I sing. Lying, y'all not lying ain't my thing.
I contend otherwise. Do you recognize this object, Mr. Understanding?
It's a temple notice, man. What of it?
In this notice, the following instructions to the temple monks is written. All of the hallway shutters will remain shut for today's dance of devotion.
What you talking about, Phoenix?
I'm talking about the fact that from your chamber, you couldn't have seen anyone going into the treasure room through those shutters.
Gah!
Looks like you didn't get the memo.
No way. I don't believe it, man.
If you don't believe it, why don't you read the notice for yourself?
Let's see. Something, something, will, something for, something, something.
Is that your idea of reading?
I'm not so hot at reading Khurainese, man. I usually get one of the other monks to read stuff for me, you know?
Doesn't that make your duties as head monk a little difficult?
Hey, cut me some slack, man. I only moved to this country 6 months ago.
That's quite recent, isn't it? So, how did someone who's only been here 6 months become head monk of a temple?
How little you understand! Religious faith can't be measured in months or years. I've only been an adherent of Khurainism for 3 months myself. The Holy Mother's teachings really spoke to me, prompting me to stay in this country.
Or was it the fact that there are no lawyers here that spoke to you?
Mr. Payne, I know just how you feel, my man. Her Holiness's teaching spoke to me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present Brother Dumb and Brother Dumber. Well, I know why Payne suddenly became a believer in Khurainism, but could Understanding have had an ulterior motive for becoming a believer too? Mr. Understanding, were you really in your chamber as you claim?
What? Hey, be chill, brother.
Weren't you instead somewhere else?
Mr. Wright, what kind of nonsense are you spouting now?
According to Mr. Understanding's testimony, he saw Albie with his own eyes. Therefore, is it really nonsense to suggest he could have seen Albie from somewhere else?
Well...
Do you have a theory, defense? Do you know where Mr. Understanding was, if not in his chambers? If he wasn't in his room, then... If Albie had gone down to the hallway towards the treasure room, there are only few places he could have seen Albie from. I do have a theory, Your Majesty. Let's say the witness really did see Albie going towards the treasure room. What then? The defense proposes this is the only place he could have been to see Albie go down the hall. I guess I can put anywhere here, right? Yeah, good. There? But you just suggested earlier that's where the true culprit might have been. True, but no matter how I look at it, this is the only place understanding could have been. Mr. Foreign Lawyer, don't tell me. Are you accusing Mr. Understanding of being the true culprit in this case? Gee, I don't know, considering we saw him in the cutscene, might as well be, right? I'll answer this in the next video, because we are now out of time, so I'll see you guys then. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Spirit of Justice. Albie has finally spoken what actually happened now, and, well, let's just say it's just another day with Phoenix Wright. Shadow, what do I do, Shadow?
And what better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hand? In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed that the treasure had been stolen. And then, just after that, he ran into the accused. I'll be your guide.
No, that's not what happened.
Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused.
Oh no! What now? Oh my god, it's so cute. Hey, Shadow, down boy. Well, what do we have here? I'm sorry about this. This is my dog, Shadow. You nearly gave me a heart attack. So that's what was making his bag move.
Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down?
Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake. Wait, what? Albie can understand. If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready.
Exactly. I mean, who but the accused, standing front and center, could have done it? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture.
Okay, come on, Phoenix. I know I can think of something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from? Gee, I don't know, from behind? With the defendant standing in front of the victim, isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind? From behind, you say? I see. Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility. Good, now at least I have some breathing room. But who do you suppose it could have been? Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder. The true culprit? And I'm suddenly realizing why people like to call him the Ace Attorney version of Luke. You can understand him?
Don't tell me this is a surprise. Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
Oh, I beg your pardon? You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you? Of course not, Your Majesty. Not this time, anyway. Why not? Let's add dogs to the list. Whew, well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought I have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there. Boy, you should see his other cases. I think I'd better reassess my strategy, and fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim, or we're sunk. While it's true the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have struck the victim at the time. Britt, I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that. I should have known I'd have to explain everything. Alright, if we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means... After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape. But then Mr. Roll appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway.
You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it, you have nothing but baseless conjecture.
I'm going to look for something to base it on right now. Albie, when you ran into Mr. Roll in the hallway, was there anyone around the storeroom area? I don't know. There might have been somebody there, but